Hello, and welcome to Seldin LLC New Hire Orientation. Today, I'm going to share some mindset principles with you, as well as some benefit options and some fun perks that are available to you as a Seldin LLC employee. But first, let's talk a little bit about our organization. At Seldin LLC, we are 5 brands under one team. All of the team members at these companies, they all work for Seldin LLC. At Seldin Company, we have our property management division that oversees our multifamily housing assets. Next is Omni Partners. This is our commercial division. Here, they are involved in not only commercial property management, but also sales and the leasing of commercial properties. USG Construction is our commercial property construction division, where USG Service is going to be our commercial facilities maintenance team. Star Compliance is both an internal and an external compliance consulting company. This means other companies can hire them because they are one of the best in the business. The mission and vision for Seldin LLC are simple. Our mission is to be your real estate partner, maximizing experiences at work and at home. And our vision is to build a reputation of loyalty to produce results and to create meaningful relationships. When people ask me what's so different about Selden, the first thing that comes to mind is the people. The way that we interact and engage with one another is very different than at most companies. We even have our own little bit of vernacular. A few years back, the Selden leadership team was introduced to a program called Mindset. Mindset was created by Dr. Kim Hogeveen, who was also the founder of QLI. QLI is a company based in Omaha, and they're a rehabilitation center for spinal cord and brain injuries. Now, QLI, for several years in a row, was named as the best place to work in Omaha, and we believe that mindset is at the forefront of that reasoning. When we take a look at this loop, we'll see that it starts with a healthy culture. If we carry a healthy culture, that means we'll have quality staff, just like you. And if we have a quality staff, then we likely have high work standards. If we keep those work standards high, we will have raving fans, and our fans will spread the word about us. This means that we'll have a solid reputation in the market, which ultimately brings us business success and brings us back to having a healthy culture. Now, remember this loop because we're going to come back to it because something is missing. Previously, you may have worked for a company where they had core values. At Seldin LLC, we have what we call behavioral expectations. These expectations directly help us form that loop that we were just talking about. So keep in mind the healthy culture and the raving fans, as we just spoke about, as we go through these behavioral expectations. And I think you'll notice how all of these will help us achieve that loop. Our first behavioral expectation is to strive for excellence. We believe in excellence every time. We are committed to excellence in our work, our culture, and our interaction with others. So we don't just get things done at Selden, we always do them in excellence. So here you can see the people under the umbrella, they've just set up shop at the OK Plateau, where the Selden employee is reaching for the top. If we're striving for excellence every day, we'll never be okay with okay. At Seldin LLC, we are lifetime learners. We are open to new learning and actively contribute to our own success as well as the success of our coworkers, both at work and in life. You will have access to tons of education, so invest in yourself and take all that you can, even if it's outside of your job title. Let's say that you're a service technician, but you've always had an interest in sales. Take a leasing class and see if that's something that interests you. Perhaps you're an assistant community business manager, but you really want to have your own community someday. Take all of the education that you can. Not only do we want you to take classes, but stay up to date on what's going on in your communities and your cities. Stay up to date on current market changes and events and what's going on in the world around you. Our next behavioral expectation is honesty, integrity, and loyalty, that we will take pride in doing the right thing and building trust with each interaction. We value our role as ambassadors for Seldin LLC. Now, if you're ever asked to do something that you don't think is right, don't do it. We are honest and we think of each interaction as a time to have integrity and loyalty. And remember, this isn't just at our communities or at our offices. Whether we have on our Seldin apparel or not, we are ambassadors of Seldin always, and we want you to feel immense pride about being a Seldin LLC team member. Have you ever worked for a company where they wanted you to just put your head down and stay busy and work? Well, that is not Seldon LLC. Here, one of our behavioral expectations is that we'll innovate and collaborate. We willingly listen and we contribute ideas and thoughts, then actively support the decision of the team. And at the end of the day, we grant the assumption of goodwill to our colleagues. So when you're working, we want you to be looking at how we can do this differently. How can we do this better? We can't leave all of the decision making to the corporate office. It takes all of us to bring great Selden success. Now, just because your ideas may not be the accepted idea, we grant the assumption of goodwill always, and we work hard to bring that idea to fruition. Our brains are just naturally made to go to the negative. So, with our coworkers, we should remember the assumption of goodwill always. Perhaps a coworker has had a rough morning, or maybe they've had something going on long term in their life that really has them down. Let's grant the assumption of goodwill and help them get through it. We are people focused and community driven. We pitch in when and where it's needed most, and we always strive to be an exceptional teammate. What if you are asked to go to a different property in a time when they need help? Do you arrive and say, "Well, I was told to come and help today. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do"? Or does it feel better to everyone, including yourself, if we say, "Hi, I'm Erin from Heritage Heights, and I'm here to help you today. Who do I meet with to get the plan for the day?" Next, we have recognize and celebrate, probably one of my favorites. We delight in successes and we recognize contributions and we have fun doing it. Here on your screen, you'll see a couple of examples of some celebrations that we've had at Seldon LLC recently. We made a huge donation to the food bank for the Heartland. So, here in the upper left, you can see a group of employees there celebrating that. On the upper right, you can see that we have a maintenance appreciation team luncheon where we invited several of our maintenance technicians in to celebrate all of their accomplishments and feed them a yummy lunch. Down on the lower left hand corner, you can see this team got together and they went out to get pedicures. And then in the lower right, this is over at our corporate office at one of our buildings, and you can see that this team is getting together to have a celebratory lunch. A little bit later in the presentation, I'll show you a really cool app that you can use to help recognize and celebrate those within the company. Next, we have transparent communication. This is where we communicate fearlessly to build open and honest relationships. We deal effectively with conflict. So don't be afraid to have transparent communication. And especially for our leaders, we expect that you will deal effectively with conflict. Work relationships can experience stressors and conflicts just like our personal relationships. So it's so important to address these quickly and effectively. Asset stewardship is where we take pride in managing properties in a way that creates value for both our owners and our residents. Remember when we discussed having raving fans? That's the only kind of resident we hope to have at Seldon LLC. But it takes a lot of hard work and asset stewardship to achieve this. Here in these photos along the bottom of your screen, you can see a Cinco de Mayo event where some Seldon employees went and volunteered. We did face painting, we had some refreshments, and we basically just got out there in the community and spoke about our assets and how we're stewards of Seldon LLC and our community. Now, keeping those behavioral expectations in mind, we know we expect a lot from you. But with that, here is what you will get in return. Here we are back to this loop. But remember, I told you something was missing. If we have a healthy culture, we attract quality staff. And if we have quality staff, we'll have high work standards. When we have high work standards, we create those raving fans. who scream about how great we are, which builds that solid reputation. Now, when we have that solid reputation, that's obviously going to bring us great business success. But what drives this loop? Do we know? Did you guess it? That's right, it's leadership. At Seldin LLC, our leaders work hard, and here's what you'll get from them. Our 7 principles of leadership. Here, we have a set of community business managers and a regional manager, accounting. And with these, you can see that they all have these framed and on their desk. So if you are walking around your office today and you recognize that you don't have this on your desk as a leader, or maybe your boss doesn't have it on their desk, reach out to HR@seldin.com and we will happily get you a copy of the 7 principles of leadership. But for now, let's dive in to see what great leadership benefits you're going to get at Seldin LLC. Leaders will create an environment where staff feel proud of the company and know that the company is proud of them. Here in the graphic, you can see that the boss is showering Liz with compliments, and that's what we want. We want every employee to feel so proud that they are a part of Seldin LLC and to know that Seldin LLC is proud to have them on the team. Leaders work hard to help staff be successful at work and in life, and that's really the important part. Here in this graphic, imagine this being your board of directors table, and you've got a set of board of directors that help you in life whenever you've got a challenge, whenever you're trying to make a change, make an improvement in your life. Who is that group of constant people that you go to? I know for me, I have my best friend on that list, but for many, many years, I have had my supervisor on that list. My supervisor and I have worked together for almost 10 years. I know that she has my best interest at heart. I know that her advice is always sound and with me in mind. And so, what our hope is, probably not day one, of course, but what our hope is as you continue down your journey with Seldin LLC, that at some point your leader then becomes one of those board of directors in life. We want our leaders to help you be successful at work and in life. And this is a great exercise. Maybe take some time to do this on your own and think about those key people in your life that help you make those hard decisions. Leaders protect the right of good staff to work with good staff. And so I love this graphic so much. Don't we all wish we had a little button like that? But this is very indicative of someone on the team that maybe doesn't always pull their weight. Have you ever worked with someone like that, where one person is doing all of the work and maybe the other person is kind of sitting back taking the easy road? Earlier, I said that we had our own vernacular. We would refer to this person as a dud. So we want to work with stars and not so much with the duds. So our leaders are going to protect the right of good staff, you, to work with other good staff, and we won't let the duds slide. Remember when we were discussing the behavioral expectation, innovate and collaborate? This is possible because leaders encourage and promote open discussion and analysis as a predicate to decision making. Leaders should sit back and ask themselves, do I have all of the information? And who else could provide input? Does my team have any suggestions? Remember, we want to hear your ideas. But do remember that we always grant the assumption of goodwill and we support the idea and move forward and we make it happen. Leaders deal effectively with conflict. Our leaders communicate fearlessly and they handle conflict effectively. At Seldin LLC, we don't gossip and we don't argue. We have healthy discussions and transparent communication. Leaders encourage others to enjoy their work. As Seldon LLC employees and ambassadors, we want you to enjoy your work. We want you to love what you do. In this graphic, this is referred to as an elevator speech. So imagine that you are going to the 7th floor and someone noticed your Seldon LLC shirt and they asked you what you love about working here. What might you say? Although you might not be able to formulate that elevator speech today, we hope in the upcoming weeks that you'll find numerous things to feel pride in about being a Seldin LLC employee. Keep in mind the behavioral expectations and our leadership principles. We know they will impact not only the way you interact with your team, but also how you interact with those outside of your workday. Here are a couple of other quick tips to help you set yourself up for success. Number one, ask questions. Even if your team doesn't know the answer, there's always someone at Selden that can help you. So I'll show you a quick way to find some contact information for those who may be able to help. And two, don't be afraid to ask for help always. Three, be flexible. We know in property management, marketing, accounting, commercial real estate, all of our businesses, we all need to be flexible. And then get connected, join a committee, stay engaged through our app called Engage. And then take initiative to do the right thing, initiative to be involved. Just overall, take initiative and do what you can with what you have. You know, some of our shops in the property management division, maybe they don't have every single tool and every single supply that you need, but we do what we can with what we have. And lastly, we want you to enjoy your job, most importantly. Now that we covered our mindset principles, let's jump into some Selden benefits and perks. As a full time employee working 30 hours or more per week, you are eligible for health benefits. You must complete the enrollment process within 10 days of your date of hire. Your coverage is effective on the first day of the month following 30 days of employment. If you fail to submit your benefits on time, you will not have access to benefits for the remainder of the year. So, this date is really important. Remember to choose carefully because you cannot change your elections until the next annual enrollment, which typically takes place in November. Unless, of course, you have a qualified life event, such as a marriage, divorce, or the birth of a child. With a life event, you will want to make sure that you contact HR within 31 days of this event. At Seldin LLC, we're proud to offer you three medical plans that will provide comprehensive medical and prescription drug coverage. We offer one traditional PPO plan, which allows you to choose the provider of your choice, but will be more affordable if they are actually in the Nebraska Blue Network. The calendar year deductible of either $6,000 or $12,000 must be met before certain services are going to be covered. Then we also offer the two high deductible plans. These will also allow you to choose your provider, but again, it's more cost effective for you if you choose a provider within the Blue Network. These two high deductible plans also give you the benefit of an HSA, a health savings account. This allows you to save pre tax dollars for qualified healthcare expenses. So we'll dive into this here in a little bit. The cost of the medical plans will be dependent on which plan you choose, so let's take a look at these. If you work for any Selden team other than our USG construction division, you're going to be paid biweekly. So this top table will reflect your 2025 rates. And remember, these rates are deducted per paycheck. So, if you are an employee who chooses the $6,000 traditional PPO plan and it's just you on the medical plan, you'll be paying 108.56 every check every 2 weeks. If you are an employee who has chosen the $3,300 high deductible plan and it's yourself and a child, then you would have $321.59 deducted from each paycheck. Now, if you are choosing the $6,000 high deductible plan and it's just you and your spouse, you would be having $206.36 deducted biweekly for that $6,000 high deductible plan. Now, Selden LLC offers a wellness discount. So, if you are the only one that is on your insurance plan, at the end of each year, you can obtain an annual physical, which will then give you a 10% discount off of your wellness premiums. If you are an employee with a spouse and you both go get your annual physical and you are both enrolled in the Seldin LLC health plan, then you would qualify for a 15% discount off of your insurance premium. So it's really important at the end of the year to go get that annual physical completed. Now, you might be asking why you should enroll in the high deductible plan. Well, these are tax free contributions, your money grows tax free, and they're tax free distributions. So basically, the high deductible premiums, these are going to be the lowest of each of the plan options. Additionally, Selden will contribute $750 to an employee account, $1,200 to an employee plus spouse or child account into your HSA account. Employees may, but are not required to, contribute to the HSA through payroll deductions on a pre tax basis. So essentially, your taxable income is going to be brought down less, meaning you're going to pay fewer taxes. Now, all usage of HSA funds for qualified healthcare expenses, which also include dental and vision, these are tax free. And you can spend your HSA dollars on your spouse and dependent children up to the age of 19 or 24 if they're a full time student. And then also remember that preventative care benefits, these are going to be covered at 100%. Here we can see the HSA contribution details. In the 2025 IRS annual maximum, this means this is the maximum contribution that you can make to your HSA within the year. So we do want to keep in mind that $750 or $1,200 contribution from Selden based upon your max contribution. So your max contribution as a single individual on the employee plan would be $3,550. Once Selden contributes their 750, then that gets us to that max contribution of $4,300. And then it works the same way with employee plus spouse or employee plus children or the family plan. It's going to be a maximum contribution of 8,550 with Selden contributing 1,200. So the maximum that you could contribute is $7,350. Now, set yourself a goal to contribute, even if it's just $75 a paycheck. That ends up being $1,950 for the year. And then do remember whatever you contribute and whatever Selden contributes, all of those unused funds at the end of the year, those are going to roll over so you can use them next year. Your preventative care benefits are going to be covered at 100%. So examples of these covered preventative services, they might be routine physical examinations, certain immunizations, screening for mammography, colonoscopy, certain cervical and prostate cancer screenings as well. Now let's discuss the flexible spending account. The FSA or flexible spending account is also available if you choose the high deductible plan. Now, the difference with this plan versus the HSA primarily is that it's a use it or lose it plan. Now, this year, up to $660 of those unused funds, those can roll over to the 2025 plan year. However, most years in the past, they have not allowed any of those funds to roll over. So truly view this as a use it or lose it. Now, there's two different types of FSA accounts. There's one for healthcare and there's one for dependent care. So the best way to think about this is the money will still come out pre-tax, so therefore lowering that taxable income. There is a max contribution that you can see here on the screen, max contribution of 3,300 for healthcare, and then a max contribution for 5,000 for dependent care. But the nice thing about these accounts is that if you have something that you can plan for as an expense, like daycare, you can have that deducted from your paycheck pre tax, knowing that you're going to spend that $5,000 for daycare. Or let's say that perhaps you're a diabetic and you have an expensive insulin. If you know that that's something that you're going to spend money on each and every month, and there's no concern of losing those funds, then perhaps the FSA is best for you. Do remember also on the FSA healthcare, you can also use this for medical, dental, and vision expenses. When you receive prescriptions, really do your homework and try to get a generic drug. Generic drugs are going to be vastly less expensive than brand name. So utilize generic drugs. Ask your doctor for samples when there are some. Use manufacturer coupons that a lot of times you can find online. And then one of the things that I really love is running my prescription through goodrx.com. This is actually going to show me the cheapest location, and a lot of times it's not our normal Walgreens or CVS. Oftentimes those guys are going to be a little bit more expensive. So if you can pick it up on Amazon and get it delivered to your home, or maybe you pick up your prescriptions at the grocery store, you might find that those are going to be a little bit less than those pharmacy markets. When you can, try to use telemedicine or telehealth. We have a virtual visit app through Amwell, and you can call in and do a phone appointment or you can do a video appointment. The great thing is that these telehealth appointments, these are available 24/7, and they're great if you've got a little cold or the flu, maybe you've sprained an ankle, maybe you've got a skin dermatology type of an issue that could be very quickly looked at online, and these will actually save you quite a bit of money. These telehealth appointments are right around $79, which is a heck of a lot cheaper than going into your actual physician. So check those out. That's through the Amwell benefit. And a little bit later on, I'll show you where you can find that information. MetLife will be providing your dental plan, and we have two different options. We have a gold plan and we have a silver plan. Now, the big difference between these two plans is really if you have a child getting orthodontia work. So, if you have a child getting braces or you're planning on them getting braces here before too much longer, that is the plan that you would want to go with. There are no childhood orthodontia services that are covered with the silver plan, but primarily that's really the only difference there. So on the right hand side of your screen, you can see what those contributions are going to be. These are also like the healthcare plan where these are deducted per pay period. So if you don't have a child getting braces and it's just you, you would pay $9.74 per pay period to have the silver plan. Now, let's say that it's you plus family, and you do have one of your children that's going to be needing braces. You would want to go with the dental gold, and the employee plus family would be $75.48 per paycheck. MetLife also offers our vision plan. Now, with our vision plan, you are given a $130 allowance for frames once every 24 months or a $130 allowance for contacts every year. So you can see the contributions on the right side of the screen. If it's the employee only, it would be $2.80 per pay period, or for employee plus family, $7.87 per pay period. Something to remember: when you sign up for your dental and your vision, you will not be sent a medical card. For your medical benefits, you will receive a benefit card with your group ID, but for dental and vision, whenever you call your provider to go set an appointment, you'll let them know that you're with MetLife, and then you'll provide your social security number. This is how they will be able to pull up your benefits. You'll also have a couple of life and voluntary insurances that you can take advantage of. This one in particular is life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance. These insurances provide benefits to you in the event of a covered accidental bodily injury or potentially in case of death. This benefit is provided at no cost to you through Prudential, and the company paid benefit amount is $10,000. Now, if you would like to up those amounts, you can increase your coverage by $25,000 increments up to 100,000, or you can add on $25,000 policy for your spouse and a $10,000 policy for each child. We also have a couple of disability insurance options. Note that the long term disability, this is provided at no cost to you through Prudential. So, this is a company paid benefit that Seldin LLC is going to be taking care of for you. Now, with the voluntary short term disability, this is really for coverage if you're unable to work due to a sickness or injury. Short term disability can help you maintain your standard of living, can help you pay your bills like your mortgage or student loans, car payments, things like that, or even expenses for food and clothing and your monthly utilities. You can also take advantage of accident insurance. Accident insurance can help soften the financial impact of an accidental injury by paying a benefit to you to help cover the unexpected out of pocket costs related to treating your injuries. This is offered through Prudential, and again, this is going to be taken out bi weekly and pre tax. And so, with the employee plan, if you wanted to do the high plan of the biweekly rate, it would be $3.87. Or if you went with the medium plan, it would be $2.66. Remember to take a look at those biweekly rates and not weekly unless you're working for USG Construction. So these benefits would cover something like a transportation benefit. If you were in an accident and you needed to be taken by ambulance, the high plan would cover $400 and the medium plan would cover $300. So you can see the differences there in the coverage. Your total benefits would be $1,600 with the high plan and then $1,050 for the medium plan. Critical illness insurance is a great insurance if you're diagnosed with a covered condition. You'll then receive a lump sum benefit that you can use however you would like to. Maybe it's paying for a treatment or it's picking up prescriptions. Maybe you have to travel for your treatment and it can help with that as well. The coverage amounts would be $20,000 for an employee, $10,000 for spouse, and $10,000 for children. This would be a great coverage for something like a heart attack or stroke. Now let's jump into our 401k plan. Our 401k plan is administered through Fidelity Investments, and that website is going to be netbenefits.com. Now, all employees, full time and part time, they're eligible following 90 days of employment and are automatically enrolled at a 3% deferral rate. Now, you can see in the grid on the right hand side, if you're contributing 3%, then Seldon's going to match that at 2%. Now, you can opt out and elect a different deferral percentage at any time by going to netbenefits.com. Now, one thing that you will want to keep in mind is annually there will be a 1% increase of your deferral rate. So, again, you can opt out of that and you can keep that contribution at a static 3% for as long as you would like. You will just want to log into netbenefits.com to ensure that you've elected that different deferral rate. As an employee, you are 100% vested with your contribution monies from day one, and you're 100% vested with Seldon's match after 2 years of employment. Here you can see if you bump up to the 7% contribution, Seldon will match you at 3.5%. One quick reminder on the 401k, you'll want to designate a beneficiary. In fact, you must designate a beneficiary. However, annually, make sure that you take a little bit of time to make sure that that beneficiary is who you want it to be at the end of the year, especially if you go through a life event. So, if you went through a divorce, you would definitely want to log in and make sure that you get that beneficiary changed if you had your ex spouse on there. And then if you have any questions, you can always call the Fidelity Retirement Benefits line. We've listed that there on the screen for you. They're incredibly helpful and they can walk you through anything else that you might need. Let's talk about paid time off. Employees start accruing PTO or paid time off after 90 days of employment. Now, PTO can be used for illness, but also vacation. So it's your time off that you've earned, and you can request time off at any time in UKG. One of the nice things about Seldin LLC is that we offer PTO for even our part time employees. So if you're a part time employee, you'll be paid 4 hours for each of the Seldin paid holidays, which we'll talk about here in a minute. And for PTO, you're going to accrue 1 hour for every 30 hours worked. So basically, 1 hour per week. And then that would be capped at 48 hours per year that you would be able to roll over. Now, for full time employees, again, accruing will start at 90 days of employment. So from 90 days to 1 year, you'll accrue PTO at 3 hours per paycheck. where from 1 year to 5 years, it would be 5 hours per paycheck with an accrual cap, meaning you can only roll over 220 hours into the next year. Now, for years 5 years through 10 years, you'll accrue at 6 hours per paycheck, and 10 plus years is accruing at 7 plus hours per paycheck with an accrual cap of 260 hours. Now, along with your PTO, we also have the paid Seldin holidays. Here on the screen, you can see all of the holidays where we're closed all day, but then we also have several where we close our office a little bit early. So, the Friday before Memorial Day, we'll close at 3 p.m. July 3rd, we'll close before the holiday, we'll close on Friday before Labor Day, and so on and so forth. So, do remember that Veterans Day, it is for veterans only, but we love to celebrate our veterans. The only requirement is that the employee must provide HR documentation to verify that veteran status. But once you do that first, it will stay in your UKG profile from then on out, and you don't need to provide further documentation. But then at that point, you'll get Veterans Day paid each and every year that you remain with Selden. Now, the offices will close early on days prior to the holiday closings and other designated dates. So, if a holiday falls on a Saturday, the office will close on Friday. And if it falls on a Sunday, then the offices will close on Monday. But we have a very robust holiday schedule, and we want you guys to all enjoy your holiday time. In addition to your paid holidays and your paid time off, Seldin LLC offers full time employees one volunteer day and one floating holiday. Now, the volunteer time off, we do ask that you request that in advance and get your supervisor's approval. This particular day can be used in 2 hour increments, 4 hour increments, or you can use a full 8 hour day. But this would be great if you volunteered at an animal rescue shelter, food pantries, Red Cross, things of that nature. You can also volunteer for your child's PTO or a field trip or a class event. Then we have floating holiday. Now, this should be used in an 8 hour day. Again, we do ask that this be requested in advance and that you do obtain your supervisory approval. But the floating holiday can really be used for whatever you would like. If it's your birthday or your anniversary, or maybe it's just nice outside and you know that time's coming up in a couple of weeks and you are wanting to take a day off in the sunshine. As long as you get prior advance approval, then taking your floating holiday anytime you like should not be a problem. As an employee, you also have access to our Employee Assistance Program or our EAP. This is through CompPsych, and you can see the website online is guidanceresources.com. The great thing about our EAP is it covers many, many subjects, but it basically offers employees and their family members 5 face-to-face sessions with a counselor at zero cost. And so this is available for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all online. You can get a phone call or it can be face to face video, but it is absolutely free of charge. You can get help for mental health issues, relationships, marital conflicts, substance abuse, grief and loss, or even legal and financial issues if you're struggling there. You would simply call the 1-800 number that you see on the screen or go to guidanceresources.com and go in and fill out your paperwork to see a counselor. But it is 5 free sessions for you per instance. And so, for instance, if you had a mental health concern going on in January, but then say fast forward to July, you're starting to have some financial issues, you can use our EAP for both of those instances. So it's not 5 total, it's per incident. Now let's talk about some of our employee perk programs. We have an apparel program. And so employees, based on their roles, they can get free t-shirts, polos, fleece jackets, all sorts of things. So office positions will get $65 to spend on apparel during your new hire month, but also during your anniversary month every year. And then maintenance positions, they're going to get $135 to spend on their new hire month and then also their anniversary. And so, leaders, make sure that you get with your employees and that you are helping them get those ordered. So, again, $65 for office positions, $135 for maintenance positions. Now, remember when we were talking about behavioral expectations, and one of those things was to recognize and celebrate? Well, that's what Work Tango is. So, Work Tango is sort of like an internal Facebook where you can send points to coworkers and you can earn points just for doing different tasks. And so, if you're going above and beyond in your work, a supervisor or a coworker may recognize you and give you points, but you can also earn them. So we have a fitness reimbursement plan where you can earn $25 for visiting a gym or working out at least 10 times per month. You'll upload your workout login sheet and redeem those points. Also, when we were talking about insurance, we talked about getting an annual physical so you could lower the cost of your premium. Well, not only that, but you can also earn $20 for completing that annual physical. You'll just upload it into Work Tango and then redeem that incentive. Something like uploading a profile picture, you can earn a $5 reward. Also, as a new employee, you'll have some education requirements. And once you complete those education requirements, you'll want to go in and redeem that incentive. Now, these points are technically money, and you can shop in the marketplace with them. So you'll be given a group of points every quarter that we want you to go give away and recognize and celebrate your coworkers and teammates. But then you'll also be earning those points and you'll be redeeming those for, let's say, gift cards or products. So do keep in mind if you went and received, let's say, an Amazon gift card, that's technically money. And so you would see a tax come out of your paycheck. However, if you saw, let's say, an air fryer, and you went to go buy it, because it was a product, there would not be any taxes that would come out of your check on that. So remember, gift cards would be taxable, products, not so much. So that's a little bit about Work Tango, and I'll actually show you that before we jump off today. Now, we also have the Wellframe app. This is a free app that you can download, especially if you're going through maternity care or maybe you want to stop smoking. There's just all sorts of different parts of the app that will help you be healthier, happier, feel better, manage your weight, all sorts of different things. So, download the Wellframe app by Health Edge. Really cool app. Now, for our employees that use Verizon, you can actually receive up to an 18% discount on your Verizon bill simply for being a Seldin LLC employee. And then we do also pay out employee referral bonuses. So if you refer an office employee, that would be a $250 bonus for you after the employee has been employed here for 6 months. If you refer a maintenance employee, you receive a $500 bonus after the employee has been here for 6 months. For our property management employees, we have the Seldin CRM. And here you've got a quick reference guide on how to use this. So, with this spreadsheet, this is going to be everything property related: the property type, the number of units, the office address, the owners, the emergency contacts, utility information, just all sorts of information that you may need. And so, you'll want to keep this as a quick reference guide for any time that you're needing to access that Seldin CRM. Now, the Seldin CRM can be found in UKG, so I'll be showing you where you can locate this. On your to do list, we have a couple of items. We need you to complete your employee handbook acknowledgement by Friday or at least within 7 days of your start date. You'll also want to complete your regulatory video bundle within 7 days. Now, when you get into UKG Pro Learning, you may have a second bundle. The second bundle is going to be more role based, and this is much larger. You'll actually have 90 days to complete this, so we want you to get started with the regulatory video bundle. You'll also need to complete your employee benefit selections within 10 days. Remember, if you don't complete that within 10 days, you'll have to wait till open enrollment in order to sign up for benefits, which won't be until November. So that's really important to make sure that you complete that benefit selection within that 10-day time frame. Seldin LLC also has a share line. This is a toll free, anonymous hotline where you can report things like harassment, discrimination, or maybe theft. Now, we hope that you feel comfortable talking with your leader or the human resources team, but if not, please do feel free to call the anonymous hotline. Remember when I told you we don't want you to do anything that you don't feel comfortable with, but we also want you to report those items. And so, if you do not feel comfortable speaking with your leader or with HR and something very serious is going on in your department or at your community, we want you to know that you do have this toll free anonymous hotline where you can share the details of those incidents. If you make plans to travel outside of the United States and you plan on accessing company data such as email, real page, or some other Selden data while you're traveling, you must inform the IT department before you go. In your communication, you'll want to include all details about your travel dates and all of your destinations. Failure to alert the IT department before you travel abroad while you're planning on accessing company data will require locking of your account. But please know your account will not be unlocked when you return to the United States. It is incredibly important to communicate any international travel with the Selden LLC IT department. Thank you for attending New Hire Orientation and welcome to Seldin LLC.